So today we're here at Whyte Gold, which is a placer mine here south of Hokitika, which is on the west coast of the South Island. So we're going to learn all about how they mine for pay dirt, as they call it here, and the Komatsu products they're using, so the PC1250 and the D475A. But this is a cool, really cool mine. This is actually aired on Parker's trail. He came here and checked out one of their plants, and he also got his idea for the Excavator conveyor, which is a conveyor built onto an excavator, from this mine site. So very cool site. But again, big thank you to Whyte Gold for having us out, and thank you for Komatsu New Zealand for helping organize and host us on this beautiful day. Well, let's go find some gold. Let's go look at the pay. Down in the pit, one of the pits, all that is overburden. So before this mine was here, the top layers were mined, and now Whyte Gold's here. They're going down about 25 meters through all this low grade or waste, and the pay layer is about 25 meters down, about 5 to 7 meters thick of pay. So placer mining is super neat because you're effectively just washing rock and recovering the gold through gravity. So this gold that was in the layer below us here, this is all overburden here, but the layer below is eroded from the mountains, washed down in the river gravels and deposited in layers, and it's usually in pay layers, what they call. So unlike hard rock, it's easy digging. You have to do a bit of ripping, but it's fairly easy digging. There's no blasting required. So we strip the overburden, extract the pay, and then we'll have a look at the wash plant a little later and see how they extract the gold. Dozer strips all this overburden way faster than a truck and a shovel, and they used to run actually custom-built conveyor belts here. And that tractor will move more material in 1 hour than they could before, and that is the secret weapon here at Whyte Gold. Komatsu D475A-8, it's their new series. Running triple shank rippers, which is pretty rare. Do not see that very often. So what we saw earlier with the 575 super dozers, this is the 475. So you got a bit of a bigger blade on there for hogging material, bulky material, kind of slot dozing. And that's where these dozers really shine, is when you get them in a slot, get those windrows and just allow them to push. They're really productive, and that's why Whyte Gold runs them here, is strictly to remove overburden. You like the new finger control? You know you're serious about dozing when you're running triple shanks. Triple shank rippers. You got your ground level service center here. Beautiful catwalks all the way around, ladders on the other side. We'll jump up in the cab after, but Komatsu's done a real nice job with this tractor.
Alright, seeing that? 3, 2, 1. Doing it, bro. Yep.
Gold mine in New Zealand.
One more just in case.
You know it's big dozer when it comes with its own stairwell. So in the cab of the 475, we mentioned earlier they went from the PCCS or palm control, when you went like this to steer, forward and backwards, to the FCCS or finger command control steering. So you've got 2 fingertip pedals for your track clutches and braking, forward, reverse, neutral, upshift, downshift, all right here. So it's a really ergonomic setup, and it's nice to see the new Dash 8 dozers went with this. My good friend Chad in British Columbia helped develop this with Komatsu and some operator feedback, so it's good to see. Actually, speaking of Chad, he's probably at Green Hills mine right now, sitting in a dozer just like this, freezing his butt off, because it's probably minus 20 there. And meanwhile, we're in New Zealand in the exact same dozer, and it's 20 degrees. Sorry, Chad. It's a good day to be in New Zealand. Finally, there's something that competes with Caterpillar, because for the longest time, the D10 and D11 was the standard with their cab and the actual machine, but place. I enjoyed my good. Oh wow!
Pick and shovel.
So this is the first stage of mining here at Whyte Gold. They remove the overburden. They save all the topsoil and trees and everything for reclamation at a later date. But this is an old tunnel or incline, as they call it. Decline, I guess, not an incline because it goes down. But 1936, that thing was last used. So a lot of historic mining in the area. And then over to my left, your right, is actually where they previously mined. It's been all reclaimed. So miners truly are stewards of the land. They put it back to a better, if not as good state as when it first was here. So all that there has been reclaimed, and they're mining in this section here. Very cool. Yeah. Well, let's go find some gold. Let's go look at the pay. we're standing here on the top of the pay layer. Earlier we saw overburden removal with the 475 and the 40-ton wiggle wagons in the corner. We've gotten down to the pay. So we've got the PC1250 loading Komatsu HM400s. Down on the bottom we've got a PC800 digging pay and bailing it up to 1250. So that's 1250 SP, so super production, so you get a short stick, bit of a bigger bucket. That machine loads a fleet of wiggle wagons that feeds 3 different plants. But this is pay dirt here in New Zealand. Doesn't look like much to the untrained eye, but this is the stuff. Just river gravel. 15-ton in that bucket. PC1250 SP. 2 Pastos HM400s with pay dirt. God, these things sound so good. I love, you can hear the turbo a little bit. You can also hear the pump winding. Alrighty, here comes the truck. We're about to go for the ride of our life. Yeah. They haul the pay to the plant. PC300 loads it in the hopper. Runs through a trommel, which is perforated. So you get your larger rocks off the end conveyor, and all your fines run down over these riffles. They actually look like hydraulic riffles. And the gold being heavier settles out of the bottom, and the lighter material washes away in the tailings here. They just fill in their old pits. This is really as simple as mining gets, placer mining, gravity recovery. Oh, they set their gold in. So this is a sluice box. It's running hydraulic riffles, so that helps aerate the material with water and helps drive the gold down to the bottom, especially when you have a lot of heavies, a lot of black sand, a lot of iron. Yeah, this is mining in New Zealand, placer mining. This is back to my roots, back when I was in the Yukon. It's cool.
See the gold here. So this is this morning. So probably 60% of it more here. You wouldn't think cut straight through there, straight down to there. So I've seen this just yellow.
Never seen something like this. This is right below the trommel. You can see all the screen up there. So you get your larger rocks out the end. All your fines dropping here, but this catches about 60% of it. This is expanded metal and miner's moss, and then it runs down to a set of hydraulic ripples down the sluice box.
So that's only this morning's work.
Can we see some gold? Do you have any like nuggets or anything we can look at?
No,
After?
only hands on
There's one? Oh yeah.
little thing.
All the tailings go off that conveyor and down to the old pit. So they reclaim as they go. They mine out the ore or the pay layer and then fill in the old pit as they go. So have a look.
So it's recycled.
Yeah.
The water from popping it up the back.
Here. The water runs off the sluices into big ponds and allows the fines to settle out, and then they reuse the water again in the wash plant. So
it's recycled.
big thank you to Whyte Gold for having us out, and thank you for Komatsu New Zealand for helping organize and host us.